Hi, y'all. How are you? I must apologize. I know that this advertisement for this, well, not advertisement, this has been scheduled for a while, and I kept pushing it back. The stuff comes up. I told somebody today, I really need a team. Like, seriously, I have so much, so many things that I would like to do, you know, and the time that I spend doing laundry, cooking, doing things that other people can do. I need a team to do that so that I can do the thing that only I can do, which is stuff like this. But we're here now. Okay. Now this is, I'm not mad at the fact that I had to wait to do this, okay, because some things have happened since the first time that I posted that I scheduled this. So I want to talk about trusting ourselves. And the last time I was on, I talked about the space around us and all that. And on my cyber security channel, I talked about the same thing, but I went a little further and I mentioned that we know about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Most of us know about that thing. It's that pyramid where at the bottom is like, food and shelter and safety, physical things. And at the top, you get to self actualization, with the idea being nobody cares about self actualization if they're hungry. Okay. So we have our needs are on a tier. We can only approach the self esteem need if we feel sufficiently safe, you know, and and we're fed, and those kinds of needs are met first. Okay, I mean, if we prescribe to that, that's fine. So, what I'm saying here is that those may be the needs, but there are other needs that we have as people. Or really, there's one primary need, actually. But first, we have the big three: the need to be heard, seen, and known. And everything that we do, that we don't do, leads to those big three, the big three, one or more of them. The need is to be heard, seen, or known. Now, all of those come together because we use that when we are heard, seen, and known. We use that to get a response. So the real need that we have is to get a response. Any response. We don't care what it is. We just want a response from anything, anybody. It doesn't matter. We want a response, which goes back to the stuff that I talked about in the other video about the, that video I told y'all to watch about the still face experiment. And it goes back to that, and the idea that, the space around us does not respond. It doesn't. No matter what we're doing, it doesn't respond. So, and it won't respond, we feel. Okay. So we do everything that we do for that purpose, to try to get a response, because as of yet, we've got nothing. It's been nothing, dead air, nothing happening. Okay. And that's scary. That's frightening. So last night, actually, I watched a documentary, a little bit of a documentary before I fell asleep, about battered women. This one was just about battered women, but we know that there are battered men out there as well. But it was about battered women who had murdered their husbands or had them murdered, paid someone to take care of them. And many of it was back in the 70s. So there were no laws on the books about, battered women syndrome or anything like that. And they had to present their case without talking about being battered women. Because at the time, according to the documentary, the lawyers felt like if they said that, then that would give them motive. Yeah. Okay. Yes, that's why I did it. So that their sentences were outrageous. I mean, and outrageous comparatively speaking to other individuals who had, taken someone's life, including men who had taken their wives' lives. Okay, the women's sentences were outlandish. Okay, like the hardest thing you could get. So this group came together to take these cases to court again, and they had the women as part of the process to create a video to talk about what had happened, what their experience was with the man that they were living with. One lady talked about how when she was locked in the basement for 5 days, not given anything to eat or drink or anything like that. I mean, all kinds of horror stories, okay, about how their husbands treated them and their children. The children spoke too, who are now adults, but some of them spoke about how that experience was being in a house with a man who constantly beat their mother and them many times. So I'm looking at the documentary, and this one lady who was in prison for murdering her husband, it had been years, like decades even for some of them. And this one lady was just beside herself. She was crying, you know. She wanted to get out of the situation, but she was saying, I still love him. I still love him. Yes, I murdered him, but I still love him. And another woman, there was a guy on the radio talking about these cases, and he said, "Well, why didn't you leave?" And the lady was like, "Well, you have to understand, like it's not that easy. I loved him. I still loved him." And it got to a scene where they were talking to one of the lawyers who come together with these other individuals to defend these ladies and bring their cases back in front of the judge. And she said, that's really all you hear when you hear about women in these kinds of situations where they're being assaulted and just, brutalized by the person who supposedly loves them. The question is always, why didn't you leave? Why would you stay in a situation like that? And she said, it seems like a good question, and it is a good question. But why don't we ask that question of the man? Why didn't you leave? She's fat, she's ugly, she's not cooking the way she needs to, she's not doing a good job with the kids, she's all these things. She's deficient in all these ways. Why don't you leave? Why do you? She brings this, it's her fault. She brings this out of you, this anger and all this stuff. Why are you still there? Leave. And when she asked that, it was like, wow, like I never even thought to ask that question. I never thought to ask that question. Why don't you leave? But that was for me a really, really great example of how we can just be so blinded by a narrative that we don't even consider that there's another question to ask. We don't even consider that. I was very appreciative that I was, that I watched that thing and that I heard the question and that it was so surprising like that, because it's going to help me talk about what I want to talk about tonight, which is about trusting ourselves. So when the woman was crying and, saying, I still love him, that brought me back to what I talked about the other day about my brother who just passed. And when he passed, the person that he knew to be Cheryl, it also passed. She's gone. Okay. She's not wherever he is, she is. Okay. She's gone. And no one will ever see or know or hear or, anything, respond to that. No one, never. Okay. Again, because, so I feel like it's the same situation here. When you're in any relationship, be it an abusive relationship, an amazing relationship, like whatever kind of connection you got with somebody, okay? What that connection does is it helps you see you. I said here a few videos ago how my daughter one day said, like out of the blue, like I don't even know what we were talking about. She said, Mom, we never see our actual face. And I was like, well, you're right about that. I'd never thought of that until she said it. And we don't see our actual faces. Like I can see my face now on this camera, but it's not real time. I'm seeing it through we always see it through something else, be it a camera, a picture, a reflection in water or a mirror or somebody else's eyes or something, that's how we see ourselves. We never see ourselves in real time. I can't turn my face around and and look at myself. I can't do that. So because I can't see myself, I feel like, who am I? I can't see who am I? So I need you, another person, to help me see who I am. But in order for that to happen, you have to respond in some kind of way. First of all, but before I even get to knowing who I am, I need a response from you first. Okay. Because again, back to the still face, when the baby is doing all this stuff and the mother doesn't respond, now the baby's like, okay, if I'm not getting a response, does that mean I'm even here? Forget about knowing myself. Like, am I even here? Okay. Because because it seems as if a response is like the witness, right? The response is the witness that, hey, yeah, you're here. I hear you. I see you. I know who you are, all that. We need the response for that. So, I'm homeschooling my boys. I believe I told you all that. And I asked them the other day, we went to Walmart, we were in the parking lot. Oh, excuse me. I asked them, because they're making investments. Okay, they're part of the math lesson involves them finding companies to invest in, doing the calculations, and they're going to invest each of them in one or two companies. Okay, and they're going to follow them throughout the school year and calculate the returns. So part of that discussion, of course, is money. All right, we need to understand what money actually is, which of course leads to a discussion of trust. So I asked them, I said, well, what's the difference between I love you and I trust you? If there's a difference. Is it the same thing? Is it different? Does it mean the same thing? And my oldest said, no, they're not the same. I love you is not the same as I trust you. So I said, what's the difference? And, they're not really able to articulate that too much. And when I was giving a presentation to some aspiring executives while I was in government, we had an exercise where I had someone come up to the board to draw trust. I said, draw trust. She stood up there. She was like, How do I draw that? I don't know. She ended up trying to draw a picture of a nurse or something like, but she tried her best. She tried her best. So trust and love are not the same thing, okay? Because they one is about relationship and the other is about connection. Okay, and relationship and connection are different. When you say, I trust you, you're basically saying, I am you. Okay. That's a relationship. I am you. I am you. It's a sharing where nothing is lost and nothing is gained. When you trust, I am you. Nothing's lost, nothing's gained. In finances and stuff, we see it. There's the transaction that's going along there, but I mean, you can call it a transaction, but nothing's lost or gained when you have trust. Okay. And trust cannot be broken. That's not something that can be broken. I mean, I know we talk about breaking something, but that's not what was broken. Okay. Um, because it's the thing, like it's what it is, right? That's what it's made of, is trust. Like trust is, I am you. And as far as I love you is about roles. Okay. A mother to a son, a husband to a wife, I don't know, a something to a something. Okay. A person to a pet, whatever. There are roles there, and roles are separate. Okay. And the way you connect roles is through love. You say, I love you. I'm here. I'm me. You're you. I love you. All that, right? So it's a connection thing. So how do you trust? If I trust you means I am you, then how would you go about trusting yourself? Okay. Because what now, this is Cheryl. Okay, this is all me and what I see and all that. All right. And like I told y'all before on this channel, you ain't got to remember none of this stuff, okay? Because you don't need it, because you got it covered, okay? You got it covered. I'm just sharing. That's what I do, okay? Now, when it comes to trusting yourself, I thought about this. What does it mean when I trust myself? Okay. And I'm glad this is coming up too, because let me show you. In September, I will be here. I'm down in the bottom corner. My hair was different. And some years ago also. But this is the Women of Color Beyond Belief conference that's going to be held in Chicago, September 23rd and 24th of this year. All right. And I'm going to be doing like an author's corner and something else, something with raising children outside of religion. Okay. So if you're in Chicago, if you're interested in this, I'm going to post it in the details, under the video, so you can see that too. And I'll talk about it again, between now and September. So, and I bring this up because the things that I say are not typical from what I've seen and heard of people in the Black community. Okay. So what I've observed everywhere, but not just the Black community, but people who join groups, who become something, non-dualists, and Buddhists or Christian, whatever the label is, mothers, fathers, women, when you join a group, when you put a label on yourself like that, you're kind of committing to something, committing to follow the rules, to do the things that people in those groups do, to talk about the stuff that people in those groups talk about. you know? And I'm noticing that, like, in the non-dual community, man, that stuff is rampant. Rampant, which is where when I first had the experience that I had that led me to write Fire and God, I felt like it was a non-dual thing. Like I had never ever heard of that term before, right? But as I did more research and I talked to more people and I joined groups on Facebook, I was like, okay, it sounds like this. It sounds like this is what this is. So I found myself being there, labeling myself as non-dual. I still do, but I mean, it doesn't mean anything, right? Uh, but what I notice is, where a person is coming from based on what they talk about, and it's like, girl, like, don't you have a? I mean, can we be at least a little original? Can we trust ourselves with what our own experience is? Like, really, serious. Like, seriously, can we do that? And still be part of the group if that's what we want to be. I mean, that's good, that's fine. But I feel like, I don't know, it's weird. Given what given the narrative, it's weird, you know? I don't know, Chad. Anyway, how do I trust myself? Is by recognizing that I am Cheryl without needing the feedback. Okay. So if I can't see, like let's just imagine we're in a world where we can't see our reflections in anything. Anything. You can't see it in, I mean, our physical. We can't see it in mirrors, we can't see it in water. We take a picture, it's not there. Like it's just a dark spot or something, a light spot, whatever. I have no idea what I look like. Like we just don't know. Okay. And I mean, like, even not just our face, like our whole bodies. We don't know what color, I mean, nothing. I know I'm here. I see you, but I can't see me through you. Okay. Whether you're a person or an object, I see you, but I can't see me through you by using you. Okay. To trust myself means, okay, I'm still me without that feedback. Okay. Some of us feel like we are not anything unless we have the feedback. Like I don't know, like I can't, I need a judgment. Like I need somebody to say you are Black or you are a woman or you are, without that, like I'll have no idea what the hell I am. Okay. Some of us need that. Or we think we need it. We think we need it. Okay. I thought I needed it at one point. Okay. I thought I did. Because that's what you're here for. I mean, even if you look at it from a non-dual perspective, right? It's still that, the thoughts that we have are like mirrors, or not even mirror. What do you, like an echo or something, right? Something that's coming back is feedback, right? Feedback, um, about us, because what are thoughts made of, right? All your senses smushed together, okay, is what they're made of, okay? All those smushed together, allow us to do all the stuff that we do. Yeah, what are senses made of? Mm-hmm. Yes. So recognizing yourself without the feedback. How does that work? Because we get the feedback we get the feed. You're not in the world with no mirrors and all that stuff. Okay. We feel like we can see ourselves. I feel like I can see myself in this video, while I'm making it. I can see what I look like and all that. Okay. And you may too, depending on what you're doing. Like if you're looking at the video, you can see that. So how would you, what does it mean to know who you are without the feedback? Like, how is that possible? You know, how is that possible? How would, like, use an example of the baby and the mom in the still face experiment, right? If we were the baby, and you saw how the baby was when she got no response from the mother, because the question was, "Am I even here?" Okay, forget about what I look like and what I am. Am I? You know, forget about what I am. The question is, am I? Am I even? Okay, you know, am I even? Which is the question that many of us have, and we tie that "am I even" with "what am I?" Okay, so the being seen, heard, and known, the response, that feedback for us answers, okay, you are, okay. Now the question after "you are" is, what are you? Okay, and that's where we you know, that's all that other stuff. Trust yourself suggests that you already, that you know, that you're here. Okay, but are you? Are you though? Right? If there is no response, and there isn't, not from everything around us, there isn't, then what's going on? So when I went to Wegmans today. Ooh, y'all, I made some shrimp and grits that were just so good. They're so delicious. It's the first time I've made that, and it was delicious. So when I was in Wegmans today, I got my basket. I'm going around the grocery store, and I see, you know what? Like a couple years ago, I wrote something about a hide, right? Like the hide of an animal. And I defined it. Let me see. Let me see what the definition is again. A hide is, they're like skins, right? The pelt taken from a cow, steer, or bull. So we know that as like the hide of an animal. Now, what is hide? What's the other definition of hide? You know, and I think I looked up etymology too, because I like etymologies of words. Hide etymology, origin. Okay. Concealment, hiding place. Okay. Let's see. To put or keep out of sight. Conceal from the new or notice of others is also hide. Prevent something from being seen is to hide. Keep secret or unknown, right? Is to hide. So when I did this back then, what I was wondering at the time was if that's what was going on here. Okay. So remember when I said I looked at the computer and I was like, what is a computer doing here? You know, it was like, it's not that it was wrong. It wasn't right or wrong. I was just curious. Like, how did it even get here? You know, wow, like what's it doing here? Um, I felt I was where I was supposed to be, but I was like, this, like, what the hell is that? You know? So I was curious, right? It's a hide, right? It's here and it's me, but it's supposed to be hiding, you know, in plain sight, right? So what I envisioned was like all of our, you know, because that, you know, according to scientists, you know, and the way that we've titled things and all that, like it's all molecules. You know, everywhere you look around, it's all, you're looking with molecules, and you know everything is just made of everything. Everything is made of that, right? So it's like they're little like they're little things I use to hide, you know, but in plain sight. Like nothing's really hidden. Okay. Like everything is out in the open. So if you would think like let's say you could take a piece of space and just wrap something around it, right? Like that's what it is. Okay. Like that's what's going on, is what I was thinking about when I was going through the grocery store today. Okay. And I was like, okay, so when I say trust myself, right? And when I say I trust you, I'm saying I am you. Okay. I am you. And I told my boys when we were talking about it, right, that if money represents trust. Okay. And when you hand somebody money, or something that you've created, something that comes from you, you know, and they give you something in return, right? That whole transaction right there. I said that told them, I was like, that if you have trust, like you don't need money. If people trust you, you don't need, if the grocery store guy and the hotel guy and the house building person and the car building person, if Elon Musk was like, oh, I have 100% trust in this you don't need money for what? They'll be flying you out to places and building stuff for you and all that. Okay. You don't need money. But if I don't feel like I know you enough to trust you, then I need a proxy. Okay. I need something else, I need something else to represent that trust. Right. And we use money and other stuff for that, not just money, but that our currency. Okay. But so also, so when I was in the grocery store too, right, when I was thinking about the hide, I was thinking about um let me see. The way that, so I told a story on here about when I was driving back from the train station and how I felt like my thoughts just stopped, you know, like that I was like knowing without thinking. Okay. But that movement that thinking has, without that movement, if I felt imprisoned, which is nuts. Right. I needed them chains back. Okay. So I can feel free again, but with when the thoughts stopped, that was like, that was really when I was trusting myself. Okay. Because I didn't need that feedback anymore. Okay. Now, it was scary. It was very, very scary. And I'm seeing that now. I didn't see that back then. Okay. Back then I was like, what the hell is going on? Okay. Whatever's going on needs to stop it. Okay. Because I'm terrified. I need my thoughts back. What's going on? Okay. But now, okay, today. Because when I do that, when I was that moment, because it didn't even last that long, that moment when I was without the thoughts, like there was nothing running around and moving around in my head. Okay. There was nothing else to do but trust me. Okay. There was no feedback. All I could do was trust. That's it. All I could do was be who I am. That's all I could do. Now, today, I mean, the thoughts were like, I mean, just all over all the time, But I see them now. Like, I am not relying on that feedback to tell me anything about me. All right. I even talked about, I think it was the last video or the video before, how I do exercises to like look at all the thoughts that come and just see them as not true. Okay, because it's not giving me anything about me. Okay, that's not what they're doing. It's like, I guess, like an echo, right? An echo is something born of me, but when it comes back, it's not telling me something about me. It's just like I had to be me in order for there to be a damn echo. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, but I hope this isn't too convoluted and confusing. But yeah. So now, when it comes to this conference that I'm going to, one of the things, like when I first, because I did a talk, I don't know, it was like 6 years ago or something, at Black Non-Believers. And I was like, how much should I say? Like, I don't know. It's I was like they're not gonna really get into some of the stuff I'm talking about. Like they'll, it's about, no longer being a Christian. Like that's fine. But what about all the other stuff about the, about the whole experience, and because we don't take too nicely to, to that kind of thing. But I don't know. So I tempered it a bit for my audience. I felt, thinking that I knew what they would respond to, okay, and how they would respond. But I've gotten beyond that, okay, because what I do now is I just what I'm doing here right now. Okay, I'm just talking. I'm just talking. Right. And it's not to be seen, heard, or known. Okay, because I no longer need that response. And like with the case with the ladies, like the lady who was crying, because she missed the husband that had been beating her for years and that she murdered, okay, because she said she still loved him. What we love, and she may still love him. I'm not saying she doesn't still love him, but also at the same time, one reason why, and I'm gonna say this for me because I can't, speak for anybody else. But one reason why we stay in certain places is because of the response and the fact that we are seen, heard, and known, even if the response is what we feel is negative, even if the response is what we feel is painful, we're still seen, heard, and known. Okay. As long as I can get that, as long as I get a response, the way I get it for some of us doesn't matter. I just want to know that I'm here. I just want that feedback. Um, Feedback is feedback. At least I'm here. At least I'm here. And when you live like that, you make decisions and have beliefs and, and all of these things that don't allow you to get beyond that point. It's still, I just want to be here. I just want a response. Many of us live there. I just want a response. Because and the thing is, the response is not from someone else. Like you're doing that too. You're the call and the response. You're doing all that. But we project it as if someone else is. So what does that have to do with the price of tea in China? So I'm not gonna, it's to get to be able to see. I mean, and it's so close. I mean, it's so close. But if I would have, I remember a time, like I would wake up like screaming in my head, or not out loud, thank goodness, but like just at nothing. Like you would think there was like a damn, what you call that old vampire, not fortuitous or something, whatever. You would think I was being chased by Bigfoot or something, with the way that I was. Yeah, you'd have thought it was a nightmare, but there was nothing. It was nothing. And I wake up like, girl, what is wrong with you? There was nothing there. What is your problem? Okay. That was a problem. But nothing there. That I could recognize, that I could see, that I could recognize. But it's like it's slowly, like a really hot tub. You can't just jump in there. Well, you can't just jump in there. Okay, you got to get in, or a cold tub. Okay, a cold water. You got to put your toe in first and get used to that, and then get the rest of your body in there. That's kind of like how this has been, because I mean, now the first time when I had the experience of having right fire in God, it was like I was just dumped right in there. Okay. And I was dumped right in there, and everything just came at once, and it was like, okay, I'm dead. That was all I could do, was surrender to the death. I mean, who that dude that come and take you when you die, the Grim Reaper. He was right there. I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do? But die? Like, what am I gonna do? So I just sat there and I waited for it to die. That's what, until I saw, oh man, what the hell is a computer doing here? So I got it all at once the first time, okay? And then it faded away. And now it's been a process of me like sticking my toe in, and then, getting used to that. So now, and also, right, I, recognizing that even all this stuff that I see and that I talk about and that I feel like, this, and I come on here sounding like I know what the hell I'm talking about. Even this is, yeah, that's not it. Okay. That's not it. Like, how would I know? I know. That's not it either. All right. That's not it either. But that's the thing that makes this so good. I mean, it makes it so, I don't know, fun. Fun, I guess, is the word. It'll never be boring. I'll never be bored. Okay, ever again, ever, because there's always something new. Just like the space around it, always new and fresh and clean. There's always something new, and that's good. I mean, I'll never get it. I'll never get it. But I do want to talk more about, not here, not now, but the hide. Like, I do want to talk more about that, because I see that. I see it, like, and it's like, man. And in the beginning, like, I would hear people say, you just have to look at it, and you'll see it right there. And it's like, what the hell are you talking about? Look at it. Like, look at what? Like, there's something there for me to figure out. Okay. But the great thing is like, when it unravels, the same effort that I put in to tie everything in a nice, neat bow, and make this be this and that be that and nothing else. The same effort that I put into that is the exact same effort I use to unravel it. So it doesn't take another person or another. It doesn't take me to help you do that. Or because it's your own. The same effort you put into it is the same effort you do to unravel it. That's the thing, right? So you don't need a teacher, a preacher, a guru, or whatever. None of that stuff is necessary. Which again, like, and I say on here too, like, that's that just makes it that much, I don't know, that much more fun. Like I say what the hell I want to say, because I know I don't have to say it. Yeah. And that's like that's the attitude that I'm going to this conference with, right? Like whatever. I'm waiting to see what I'm gonna talk about because I don't know. I don't know. A lot of times on this channel, I plan stuff sometimes to talk about, but sometimes I don't know. I just come on here and just chat it up. Whatever happens, happens. So if you're in the Chicago area, again, I'm going to be at the Women of Color Beyond Belief Conference, September 23rd and 24th. And I'm going to be speaking at on two different occasions. But I will actually, what I can do is, it's a late show, it's 12 o'clock. What I can do is I'm going to put the details of all that in the description, like I said, so you all can just go there. And I'm going to, again, talk about it again when I come on this channel, okay? All right. So thank you all for hanging out with me tonight. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do so. And leave any comments if you want me to talk about anything. I'm happy to do that. And I told y'all I was going to read a chapter of Tales from Eternity. And now they're short stories. Okay, so I'll come on and I'll read a story and then delve into like why I wrote that and do I still feel that way today about this thing, or and I'm curious to read them again because it's been a minute since I read those stories. Okay, so I'm excited to read them and talk about that here. So I'm actually going to set up. I'll go ahead and schedule something to talk about it. The first chapter. Oh, tomorrow's Sunday. Maybe tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll give you that tomorrow. Okay. All right. Y'all have a good night, and I will see you back here again. Bye.